Hey everybody, on this episode of Something New here in the Teak Life Basement Bar, we are going to Michigan, my roots, my home, and we're going to be trying Coppercraft's Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a blend of, well, you just gotta watch the episode. Stay tuned. I got my bottle, I got my glass, but this is not just any regular glass. This is my old Rip Van Winkle Distillery glass. And you know when this bad boy comes out, we are trying some whiskey or some bourbon. And what's the difference? We covered that shit already. So if you didn't watch that episode, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to go back in the Teak Life catalog and watch what's the difference between a whiskey and a bourbon. But I'm D. Ferg. Welcome back to another episode where we are trying Coppercraft Distillery and their Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, Coppercraft is actually a Michigan brand, and if you didn't know already, we are Detroit based, or the suburbs of Detroit, whatever. We still rep Detroit. That's just what we do here in Michigan. We rep Detroit, but this is from Holland, Michigan, and Holland, Michigan is on the West Coast, so everybody does that when you do Michigan, and Detroit's like right around in here. This is where the West Coast of Michigan is, and for you it might be, I don't know, I'm trying to do it like it's in a reverse mirror, but who cares. Let's get to Coppercraft Distillery because we've been seeing a lot about them in the Michigan market. So if you haven't heard or learned of them yet, trust me, you will. Getting to this one right here. Now this is a blend, so this is barrels. I'm just going to read it so that way I don't get it wrong. Barrels of 4-plus-year-old and 11-plus-year-old source bourbons are blended to create a rich, smooth flavor. We use brandy blending and proofing techniques that take 3 months from barrel to bottle. So it takes 3 months to get into this amazing looking heavy, and this is a heavy bottle. I mean, this is craftsmanship. Truly, like the mold, the press, it has Coppercraft down here. It's like all Holland, Michigan, handcrafted spirit. Like, this is just an absolute work of art. Even on the bottom, look at it. Looked like I was going to throw it, didn't it? But I'm not. You know I don't do that shit. Even the topper, I mean, everything is crazy here. It's a nice heavy topper. What we're going to do is a pour because I want it to breathe. Oh, don't mind if I do. I might have poured a little too much there. But, you know, with that, it's always about what's in the bottle. And we see a lot of crazy, amazing presentations. There's a lot of unique bottles out there. And what I understand in the marketing is this sits on the shelf. It wants to draw your attention. Hey, buy me. Look at me. Sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't. You know, there's often times where I've spent $200-300 on a bottle, not really, and it just hasn't matched up to what I thought it was going to be. And we'll see what's going on here. But looking at the bottle, let's look at it in the glass, and it is a very nice, like a rich dark amber. You know, looking at the glass, it has extremely slow legs. And legs are the tears, the drifting of when it kind of comes and cascades down the side. And typically when the legs are really slow, that means it's a higher ABV. So it's a higher proof. And look at this. What do you know? It's 97 proof. So, it's right. The legs are slow. They're still kind of trickling along. And so we know this is probably going to have a little bit of that heat. But we'll see. Let's do our nosing. And I do catch some of that alcohol. But I got a really good, like, caramel, some vanilla, brown sugar, a little bit of rye. And I'm not the most proficient when it comes to whiskeys and bourbons, but I'm learning as I go. Each night I crack open a new bottle just to experience and learn a little bit more. Oh, that sounded like an alcoholic. So I don't do that, actually. Let's just go in for our first taste. Okay, so I'm picking up that vanilla. I'm picking up a little bit of the caramel. There's some brown sugar in there. Definitely a little oakiness. A sweetness. Man, almost like candy corn. Sounds weird. But the sweetness from the corn, I would assume. A little bit of baked apple, maybe. Overall, it's got some good flavors. They're mellow. I wouldn't say there's anything that like really jumps out at me to where it's, wow, a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel. It almost seems kind of balanced, in my opinion. On the finish, you do get like a lingering rye spiciness. There is definitely a little bit of heat. You know, so this is, it's not as smooth as I typically would like. And I know at 97 proof, like, I mean, it's going to have some kick to it. So this is going to not be like an entryway to whiskeys or bourbons for a lot of people. There's some other brands that I've done some tastings on, and they are definitely like Pendleton. That was easily smoother, but it was also 80 proof, so it's going to be different. So we're letting it aerate. I think this is one, and I don't typically do it, but I think if you added like 2-3 droplets of water, it would definitely open it up. It would smooth it out just a little bit more, create more of a balance, and open up those flavors to where you really get them. And, you know, I'm not going to do that because I typically just sip neat, and I like to do that neat. You know, if it's a little bit too strong for you, you know, maybe a whiskey rock or something like that to chill it, and then open it up with a couple of droplets of water. For me, myself, like, this is something that I could sip, but I don't think that I would sip a lot of it. This is something to sit down and chill with, maybe two glasses, and I think that would be, you know, good enough to me and satisfy what I'm looking for. But overall, I think it's really good, and for the price point, I think it's around $50. This is really a very good choice. So a little bit about Coppercraft Distillery. They were founded in 2012. Like I said, they're out of Holland, Michigan. They're in the manufacturing part of the coast of West Michigan. So West Michigan is kind of known as a craft beer area, but there's a lot of whiskeys coming out of that area of the state. The other thing about Coppercraft is they kind of are taking over Michigan. Like, they're making a big impact in Michigan. Everywhere you turn around, you see something affiliated with Coppercraft whiskey. So they're pushing, they're going hard, and they're targeting their market, and, you know, they're getting a lot of great responses as well. You know, they have a great family in the DeVos family that are behind them, and the DeVos family, if you know, I think they started Amway or own Amway, you know, something like that. And they just got a ton of cash. Let's just say it like that. So they're really getting out there in the market. One of the other things is, if you look at their website, they have a lot of products. I mean, they're also dabbling in rum, gin. They have some special blends. They have a lot. They even have a ready-to-consume beverage that's out on the market. So I'd love to try that. I think that would be very interesting to give that one a try. But overall, this Coppercraft Distillery and their Straight Bourbon Whiskey, I like it. I really do. I think it's a good product, especially for the price. So we're going to see it right up here. Definitely Teak Life approved. Good choice. I would recommend trying this for sure. Alright, so my glass is empty, and that means we're wrapping up another episode of Something New here in the Teak Life Basement Bar, where we tried Coppercraft Distillery and their Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Teak Life approved all day long. Make sure to subscribe, like, share the YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, social, all that stuff. Just go to the website, and you know, if you want to reach out to us and say, hey, I own a company, I want to get on the Teak Life bar, how do I do it? Shit's easy. Email right from the website. Anyway, if you think you belong here, reach out to us. We definitely want to taste what you have out on the market. So, I'm going to pour another one. We'll see you soon.